Just the other week, Joe hit a wall. He was trying to implement a new barcode system for the parts management at our appliance business. He had the manual, he had the hardware, and he had every intention of making it work. But the instructions just were not getting him where he needed to go. He was going around in circles for hours trying to make the system behave the way he needed it to behave inside our workflow. And then he did something that completely changed the outcome. Welcome to the Outcome Academy podcast. I am Ginny Seeley. I'm a business strategist and longtime process improvement expert, and I also co-own an appliance service business and a co-working space with my husband, Joe. So I understand what it looks like to juggle growth, leadership, family, and big dreams all at once. If you're a service-based entrepreneur or executive who wants to stop putting out fires and work on your business and build momentum with systems, smart marketing, and practical tech, you are in exactly the right place. He took the user manual and uploaded it directly into ChatGPT. And then he started a conversation, back and forth, trying things, testing ideas, asking it questions, adjusted what he was doing, and tried again. And by the end of that conversation, Joe had implemented the barcode system in a way that was actually better than what the manufacturer recommended in their own manual. Better. Not because AI is magic, but because Joe brought his knowledge of our business, our workflow, our trucks, our technicians to that conversation. AI helped him think through that problem. And that distinction matters because AI doesn't think for you, it thinks with you. And that is what this episode is all about. When AI comes up in conversation with business owners, I usually hear a couple of different things. The first one is, I tried AI once and it didn't really sound anything like me. Maybe you asked it to write something, maybe the answer felt kind of generic. Maybe it just missed the nuance of what you were trying to say. So you closed the tab and you went back to doing things the way you always have. The second thing is people feel like there's too many tools. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Notebook LM, Perplexity. Literally something new launches every single week. It feels overwhelming. And I'm going to be really honest, it even feels overwhelming to me. But the problem is people dabble a little bit and then they stop. Also, a lot of people feel really nervous about AI overall. They think to themselves, what if AI replaces my expertise? Or worse, what if the people that I serve think I'm cutting corners by using AI? And then they judge me and they walk away and they don't want to use my business anymore. All of these concerns are absolutely valid and they totally make sense because most of what you hear about AI is either super duper hype or super duper fear. Very little of it is just practical reality. So I want to clear some things up today. The most important sentence in this entire episode is this. AI doesn't think for you, it thinks with you. And to be honest, if you're letting AI think for you, that's not the point. We're not trying to replace our human touch with AI. Talked about that a little bit back in episode 6, but it's really important as we're incorporating AI into our daily tasks that we still maintain that human touch. And the moment you start letting AI think for you, that's when you lose your humanity. And people want to work with other people. When people use AI poorly, they kind of treat it like a vending machine. They type something vague in, and then they get something generic out. And then they either publish it or they decide that AI isn't useful. And either one is kind of a mess. If you publish something that isn't really what you intended and doesn't have your expertise and your stories and your personality, people start to doubt you. But if you also decide that AI isn't useful and all the other businesses around are using it and get things done really quickly and efficiently, then you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. But when you bring your expertise, your documents, your real situation, everything changes. When Joe was working on that barcode problem, he didn't just go in ChatGPT and say, set up a barcode system. That wouldn't even make sense. ChatGPT wouldn't even know what the barcode system was for, what he was trying to accomplish, or anything. He said, here's the manual. Here's where I'm stuck. Help me think through this. And that's the difference. So I want to share a few ways that we're using AI in our businesses. And this is just a few different big 30,000 foot view ways that we use AI. If I sat here and told you every single way that we use AI in our business, we would be here all day and it wouldn't just be one episode. But 3 big ballpark ways you can use AI. First, you can use AI as a problem-solving partner. Secondly, you can use it as a task multiplier. And thirdly, you can use it as a polishing partner. And now I'm going to walk through each one of those for you so you can go a little deeper and understand what I mean. The first one is AI as the problem-solving partner. This is the Joe example that I gave you at the beginning of this. He didn't need to be an expert at AI, nor did he need AI to be the expert at what he was doing. He already understood his business. He understood our trucks, our technicians, what they needed, what our parts looks like, our workflow, and what he needed was someone to help think through the implementation of this new barcode system with him. AI acted like a collaborator who never got tired, never got frustrated, and could iterate with him step by step. Another way you can use AI as a problem-solving partner is to take transcripts and upload them into AI and then ask it to analyze the transcripts. For example, if you're recording your customer service calls, you can take the recorded call, you turn that into a transcript, and if you just have the voice download, there's another AI tool that I'm just going to toss out there real quick called Descript. D as in dog, E, script. And if you go into there, you can upload either a video or an audio file and it will create a transcript from it for you. Then you can just copy and paste that whole entire transcript into your AI tool and you can ask it to identify patterns. You can ask it why the customer got confused. You can ask where the communication broke down in the conversation. And you can even ask it how you would improve sales or dealing with that difficult customer. And this is great content for training your team, for improving customer service, and all of those types of things. I want you to think through this for a minute and think about some things in your business that you could upload into AI as a thinking partner. That type of analysis would have required a lot of money and a lot of time to do in the past, and now we can do it in minutes. That's not AI making judgment calls. We're the ones making the judgment calls. It's just helping to see patterns and then allowing us to take those patterns and that interpretation, bring it to our team, and then we decide what we want to do with the information. This is the part I love most. Inside Outcome Academy, I teach a lot. I teach workshops, I have courses, I have mastermind sessions, and I realized something a long time ago. Just because somebody understands something that I'm teaching them, it does not mean that they know how to implement it. There's a huge gap sometimes between understanding something and then implementing it and doing it every single week. So I started building custom AI tools for my students, custom GPTs. What I do is I teach a concept, then I give people the tool, and that tool helps them implement something. So, for example, instead of just teaching someone how to write their elevator pitch, one of our modules in Brand Builder Blueprint is called Elevator Pitch Perfection. Instead of just going through that whole entire thing, which I think is really important and people should still do that, you should still watch the whole lesson. You open your GPT tool that's called Elevator Pitch Perfection. You click on the link And then all of a sudden, it's going to start asking you all the questions you need to answer to build an elevator pitch in your own voice. So instead of just me explaining this thing that everybody should know how to do, we should all have an elevator pitch, I actually created a custom GPT that helps you carry out that task. So here, I want you to think also in your business. Custom GPTs are awesome for repeat tasks. Somebody came to me and told me they were having a hard time breaking down their goals from a big goal to actionable tasks. So I created a custom GPT that did exactly that. And it's trained to ask the questions it needs to understand the big goal that you're trying to accomplish. And then it helps you plan out all of the small steps that you need to accomplish to make that goal work out. Another time, a while back, I had a client that asked me for help creating a custom GPT for writing sales prompts. They wanted to sell something in their business and they had to constantly create these ads for selling things. And they wanted to be able to put in the name of the thing that they were selling and some type of identifying number for their industry. And so I trained a custom GPT that when they put that number in, it would automatically query, understand what the item was. It would have pictures, and then it would create a really, really great ad to sell that item. So for this one, I want you to think of things that you repeatedly do in your business over and over again, the same thing. I have custom GPTs that help me come up with ideas for blog posts and podcast episodes. I have one that I use super commonly with my compound marketing machine students called the Small Business Content Generator. And what that one does is it helps them think of what to write about for their blog post. Then it makes a really good draft of the blog post for them. Then they can go back and add a personal story. They can review it for accuracy. They put some of their own ideas in there. They upload their brand voice document that we create together in Brand Builder Blueprint. And then, voila, they have their blog post. But it doesn't stop there. It also gives them all the SEO information to plug into their website when they post their blog post. It gives them all the social media posts that go along with it. It writes an email for them to send out, introducing their blog post into the world. It also does a summary for them of their blog post. So when they post it, they can introduce all about it. So this is how I want you to think about AI. I don't want you to just go in and use it as a search engine. You can use it as a search engine, but I've already given you two amazing ways that you can partner with AI to get things done more efficiently at a deeper level. So hang tight. Let's keep going. AI as a polishing partner. This one is probably the most misunderstood. I do not ever recommend telling AI to write something for you and then just copy and paste that. Your audience knows when something has no human behind it. It's pretty obvious now. I think we've all gotten really good at seeing when something was just written by ChatGPT and cut and pasted. Sometimes, sadly, I've even seen people cut and paste the little bottom part that absolutely lets somebody know that it was written by ChatGPT because it says a little message from ChatGPT at the end. Please don't be that person. When you stop writing your own ideas, you stop developing your ability to communicate. And communication is leadership. So here's the approach that I take instead. I write first. I take all my ideas and I bring my draft to AI. And then I ask it to help me polish it, tighten a sentence, improve the workflow, rewrite the paragraph so it flows better. Because your friend Ginny here, I'm awesome at writing run-on sentences and not knowing where to put my commas. AI can help me with that. It's not creating ideas for me. It's taking my own ideas and making them look really professional so that I can put them out into the world in a way that feels really easy to understand by the people I'm trying to communicate with. And you don't even have to write all of your ideas perfectly. One really cool thing that I like to do is voice. So I'll activate the voice feature in an AI tool that I'm using. and I'll talk to it just like I'm talking to you right now. I'll tell it all the thoughts I have, all the ideas, how I want people to understand something. I'll give examples. And then after I'm completely done with everything I want to share, I'll ask it to polish that together into some paragraphs or even bullet points or whatever. Or I'll ask it to put it all together in a nice structured way that I can upload then into Notebook LM to create slides. So for this one, the polishing technique in AI, it will find a better word for you. It will smooth a paragraph that feels clunky. The idea is yours. The expertise is yours. The voice is yours. AI just helps refine all of that so it's nice and polished for you. Now, I want to talk to you about something that I learned the hard way. I think it was about 6 months ago. I was sitting down and I wanted to do something and I kind of didn't have a lot of time and I was quickly popping into ChatGPT to get this task done. And all of a sudden it was down. And I realized, well, this is annoying. I needed to get this done quickly and it wasn't there. And it doesn't mean that everything stopped and I couldn't do what I was doing, because if we're using AI correctly, we are absolutely still using our brains. However, it definitely put a snag in the timing because AI helps us do things super quickly. So that day, that was really frustrating. And lately, there's been a lot of talk of people abandoning ChatGPT and moving everything over to Claude. I'm not going to get into all the politics and all that. All of that is your personal choice. But what I would recommend is not going all in on just one. Because when you're all in on just one tool and it happens to go down, like Claude did the other day when everybody just ran over to switch there, then you're frustrated because you have systems built. You start to get dependent on that. It's kind of like when your computer goes down. Before we had computers, we did everything without them. Now, when our computers go down, all motion stops in our businesses. And that's kind of how people have come to rely on AI now. We can sit there and go to a paper system if our computers go down. We can call our customers. We have things backed up. But boy, is it a pain to go back to the paper way of doing things when your computer is what you depend on. So I want to encourage you to build some redundancies into your AI toolbox. Don't go all in on just ChatGPT. Don't go all in on just Claude. Pick at least two that understand you. You've uploaded your brand voice information in there. And by that, I mean you've taken Brand Builder Blueprint, you've built your strategic brand manifesto, you've uploaded that into your AI tool, and it understands you. It knows who you serve, what you sell, what your service is, your brand, what you care about, your mission, vision, and values. All of those things that you don't want to do, customers you don't want to serve, your price point, where your business is, all of those important things about your brand. You want your AI tool to know that, because then when it produces content for you, it needs a lot less adjusting because it starts to sound more and more like you. So make sure that you have that information uploaded into your AI tool, and then you can go back and forth. You can switch up. I like to use ChatGPT for thinking through things like Joe did when he was solving the barcode issue. I like to use Claude to polish my writing a little bit more. I just feel like it does a better job. A lot of people really like Gemini. That's not one I've gotten super into. I pretty much bounce between ChatGPT and Claude. And then I use other tools for very specific tasks, like I've already mentioned in this episode, Descript, Notebook LM. I really like another tool called Napkin. There's tons and tons of tools out there that you can use. But for your LLM tools, I personally prefer ChatGPT and Claude. And I'm not going to be one to abandon ship and completely trash one of them, because honestly, I feel like they all have their strengths in certain areas, but you do want to add that redundancy into your toolbox. AI has leveled the playing field. The tools that used to require entire departments marketing teams, training departments, data analysts, they're now available to small business owners. For the cost of a monthly subscription, like $20 a month, you get a huge amount of leverage for your money. And that really matters because small businesses are the backbone of our communities. We sponsor the Little League teams. We show up on the school fundraisers. We employ our neighbors. For a long time, the tools that allowed businesses to truly compete were only available to companies with huge teams and huge budgets. That is no longer true. AI has changed that, and the business owners who learn to use it well will have an enormous advantage. Not because AI replaces their expertise, but because it amplifies it. So I want to give you a little bit of homework this week. First, I want you to set up 2 AI tools. ChatGPT and Claude are a really great starting point, and they're so easy to set up. Now you have redundancy. Second, I want you to bring a real problem. Upload a manual, upload a document, upload the email thread you're trying to respond to. Give AI some context and then ask it to help you work through a problem. A really great way to end your prompt when you're trying to work through something is, quote, ask me any clarifying questions, end quote. When you tell it to do that, you give it permission to ask you questions if it doesn't quite get what you're trying to do. Third, I want you to write first. Put your ideas, whether it's in written form or spoken form, in there, and then let AI polish what you did. That way your voice stays intact. Your communication improves and your output keeps getting better. People keep asking how we use AI in our business. I see posts literally every single day asking how people are using AI in their business. And right now, you keep hearing the word agents, I'm sure, and you heard about OpenClaw. And maybe you're hearing now about Claude Cowork. Those are super powerful tools, but I don't want you to feel overwhelmed and throw your hands up and do nothing. If that feels too big for you right now, it's totally fine. But start with the basic things that we talked about in this episode. You can do this. And the moment you start to use AI to your advantage for your small business, and you allow the opportunities that were only available to big businesses be available to you so that you can make your community a better place. These tools will make running your business feel a lot lighter. You are smarter than any AI tool you will ever use. People will disagree with me and they'll say that AI has all the knowledge of humankind in it, but it's not you. It doesn't have your lived experience. It doesn't have your feelings. It doesn't have your ideas, your creativity, your passion, your love for your craft. You're human, and that's what makes you so, so special. So use that AI to amplify your humanity. The beautiful things that you come up with, allow it to help you put more of that out into the world in less time so you can spend more time on the things in your life that absolutely matter, like serving your customers face to face and being there with your family to enjoy meals and celebrations and vacations and all of the beautiful things we're meant to do. Thanks again for hanging out with me today. I'll see you in the next episode, and I can't wait to hear from you about how you're using AI in your business. As you think about this week, notice where this shows up in your own business. If you want to go deeper into this work, including the mastermind and other ways we support service-based business owners, you can explore everything at outcomeacademy.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.